Let's have some fun with Hatha yoga today. Let's begin by doing what's known as the yogic vibrations. This is where you want to tighten up your whole body, starting with your toes, going up your legs, to your chest, your arms. And once you get that tightness, you begin to vibrate and shake your body. This begins to energize and help to awaken your body. We'll do this 3 times. So let's do it again. Let's do the yogic vibrations. When you're doing this, you'll find that the first time you can hold it longer, and then the second time is a little bit shorter, and the third time is a little bit shorter after that. When you're doing it properly, you'll be shaking mostly in the upper body. You'll feel your neck going back and forth, sort of like a jackhammer. After doing the yogic vibrations, let's just do a simple little stretch. Grab our hands behind our back. Lifting our arms up as high as possible, bending forward. Nothing really significant here, just getting the body a little bit warm, a little bit loose. Keep a little bit of a bend in the knees, especially when coming up. Helps to take a little bit of the pressure off the lower back. Grab your hands behind your back now and just pull your left arm down, tilt your head to the right. Grab your left hand with your right hand, move your head to the right. Get a bit of a stretch going into the neck. Now let's move on to tree pose. You can put your foot to the inside of your other leg, or I like to get a little bit of a stretch happening in the foot as well. And so I put the foot onto the top of the quadricep and sort of twist my foot a little bit. The key here is to focus. When you concentrate on an item, something around you, you're less likely to fall over. So focus. This is a great pose for focusing the mind. Try to move your knee backwards without turning your hips. Stretch up, feel the stretch going up your body. And then you lower your arms and do it on the other side. You're going to move back and forth and sway a little bit. It's perfectly natural. But what you'll find is that when your thoughts are moving, when your mind is moving, your body will move too. When you focus the mind, when you calm the mind, the body will stay still. When you're ready, just lower your arms nice and slow. Keep it centered. Now, what you want to do here is you want to grab your right foot with your right hand, left arm straight into the air, and then explore the pose. Depending on your flexibility, depends on how far you can lift your leg. This is a combination of a stretch and a balance pose. Again, focus the mind. Do it on the other side. Switch legs, switch hands. Left hand to the left foot, right hand into the air. Stretch. Stretch into the pose. Now begin to release. It's time to do it's known as a standing pose flow. Turn your left foot in all the way, your right foot out halfway, arms shoulder high, stretch into the pose. Your right hand goes down your right leg, your left arm into the air, looking down. Explore the pose. Then look up into the sky. Feel the stretch. And you can say hello to my cat Tiger, the first cat I rescued in the Philippines. Now, take your left hand and move it around your back and grab the inside of your right leg. This provides a little bit of a spinal twist while also working on the legs. Then look down, still holding the inside of your right leg. Move your left leg up high. For some, if you want, you can take your right hand, put it onto the ground, help to balance yourself. I personally like to balance on my one leg. This helps to maximize the balance aspect of the pose. As you can see, I can't stretch very high, but it's not the height that counts. It's how much you love doing the pose, how much you love the experience. Now, left foot to the ground, bend your right knee, put your right elbow onto your right knee. Keep the arm behind your back, holding the inside of your leg. Feel the stretch, explore the stretch, always explore the stretch. Focus on the stretch. Now, release your left hand, pull it over your head. Stretch into the pose. Take your hands, raise them above your head. Bend your right knee. Balance, strength, focus. Love doing the pose. And let go. Take your arms down towards your right foot. As you can see, I'm not super flexible, but I still feel a stretch, and I love the stretch. Flexibility comes with time. Whether you increase by 1 millimeter per day, half a millimeter per day, 5 millimeters per day, it really does not matter. And the other little cat, Kriya, just went running by. Now come to the front, hands to the ground. Bend forward, lean forward. Allow yourself to dive into the pose. Twist your feet a little bit inwards if you want. Explore the stretch. Turn your feet outwards if you want. Find where the stretch is good for you. Now, come up. The other direction. Left foot out all the way, right foot in halfway. Arms up, shoulder high, and then stretch into the pose. Your left hand goes down, your right arm is up, and then you look up. Look at your fingers. Focus on your hand. Take your right hand, move it to the inside of your left leg. If you're like me and not as flexible turning this direction, you might have to help move your hand to the inside of your leg. Now look down. Your left hand onto your left leg. Go as deep as you can with your left hand. Myself, I could only touch my shin. Others can go all the way down. Again, if you want to support your body by touching the floor, it's okay. Continue to hold the inside of your left leg. And then release. Continue to grab the inside of your leg, and as you can see, it's difficult for me, but I still do it. Keep your left elbow onto your left knee and twist, and then explore the stretch. Take your right hand, move it over your head. Again, stretch into the pose. It takes time to master these poses. It's not something you're going to do overnight. But if you don't start today, you'll never get there. Now raise your hands up and then bend your left knee. Arch your back backwards. Again, a little bit of strength, balance, and focus. Then release, bend forward, go as deep as you can, explore the stretch. Turn your body a little bit sideways, left or right, and you'll find where the stretch is. As they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. And that's what Hatha Yoga is all about, that first step. Now, release, come to the front. This time, take your hands, wrap them behind your back, lift your arms up, stretch down, feel the pose. Again, move your feet a little bit inwards, a little bit outwards. Keep them straight if you want. And then release. And then I like to bend backwards a little bit. Then come back to center. Go down onto the floor. Take a break. Do child's pose. Now come onto your back. Let's do one of the great poses, the shoulder stand. Get comfortable, catch your breath, and when you're ready, you raise your legs up over your head, supporting your back with your hands. Point your feet to the sky. Try to get to a point where you hold the pose still. And there's Tiger being a star again. Ideally, you want your legs straight over your hips and your hips straight over your shoulders. Easier said than done. This pose, along with the knee to ear and even the plow pose, aren't always the best poses for people who have a neck problem. But every now and then I still like to do these poses. I just don't do them every day. Now when you're ready, if you can, take your feet and your legs and move them a little bit over your head and then push your arms straight up. And this requires a lot more balance. You're no longer supporting yourself with your hands. Balance. There's a few poses that really help to bring stillness to the mind. Shoulder stand is one of them. Many times this pose is done for 5 minutes or longer. Now, when you come out of the shoulder stand, bring your knees down to your ears. This is the knee to ear pose. This helps to decompress the spine after doing the shoulder stand. But again, this pose can put a little bit of stress onto your neck. So if you've had neck injuries or if your neck is prone to being out and needing to go to the chiropractor to put it back in, you may want to avoid this pose. You know, every now and then it's still okay to do it. You know your body best. Now coming out of the knee to ear, come back up into the shoulder stand. Take your arms, your hands, put them towards the back of your spine, back of your lower back, and then drop your feet to the floor and come into the bridge pose. Keep your knees pointed inwards. Although your legs are basically perpendicular to the, or I should say your shins are perpendicular to the ground right now, if you want, take your legs and sort of send them straight. It's a variation of the bridge pose. It's not as easy as it looks. And you might find, like me, you have to bring your feet back into that perpendicular position sooner rather than later. After doing the bridge pose, let's go the opposite way and do the knee to ear or the plow pose again. Now, you might find, like me, that your lower back is a little bit tense or tight at this point and you can't stretch as far backwards now. It's okay. Don't force the stretch, just go to the point where the stretch feels good. As you can see, I just can't go back as far now as I could when I did the knee to ear the first time. That's because the bridge pose forced your body to bend the other direction. And it takes time for your body to loosen. Now come out of the plow pose or the knee to ear pose. Take a few seconds to regain your breath. I like to move my hips a little bit right now, left to right. This helps to loosen up the lower back. Now, put your left foot straight, your left leg straight. Put your right foot onto your left knee. Let's do the spinal twist. Every time you breathe and you exhale, go a little bit deeper into the pose. Now, come out of the pose and do it on the other side. Come out of the pose, roll to the left, both hands to the ground, right knee to the back of the left foot, stretch into the pose. Feel the stretch into your stomach. Then look the other way. You don't have to look the other way if you don't want to. It's a personal choice. I just like to explore the pose, explore the stretch. Then look forward, hands to the ground. Grab your foot with your left hand. Bring your other hand over the top of your head. Just a few more seconds. Now begin to release. Come out of the pose. Rotate to the other side. Right knee down, left knee behind the right foot. Twisting to the right, looking to the right. Look to the left if you want. Again, it's a personal choice. Now look forward, hands to the ground. With your right hand, reach backwards. Grab your foot. Keep breathing when your body allows. Pull your foot up higher. Go deeper into the stretch. Feel the stretch down the side of your body. Just a few more seconds. Now begin to come out of the pose. Go into cobbler's pose. Use your elbows to push your knees down. Bend forward. Move your head to the left, to the right, to get that stretch going from your neck down to your middle of your back. And your body allows, go deeper into the pose. How deep you go really depends on your body. Most importantly, just have fun with the pose, have fun with the stretch. Really learn to love it. Whenever you love what you do, there is no effort. When there's effort, it means you don't love doing what you're doing. So, Hatha yoga, perhaps living a healthy lifestyle, taking care of yourself, it might require some effort. But when you love yourself, when you love doing what you're doing, you'll find that there's no effort at all. Everything is easy when there's love. One reason why I like doing the cobbler's pose is because it's similar to the knee to ear pose or the plow pose, but without the stress on the neck. But the knee to ear pose or the plow pose tends to work the stretch a little bit faster, helps you gain a little bit more flexibility in your back. But those two poses, along with the shoulder stand, can put a little bit of too much pressure on your neck. Again, if you want, take your hand, move it to the opposite side of your head, gently guide your head into a stretch. Then use your other hand, guide your head again. You'll be amazed that you don't need a lot of pressure or force, just a simple light touch to get that stretch going into your neck. As you can see, I like to hold the pose for a long time. And what I like to do as well is I like to take my hands and wrap them behind my feet. And then I grab my hands behind my feet. It sort of pulls me forward a little bit more, pushes down on the groin a little bit more. It's just a variation. Now let's come out of the pose. Again, let's do another spinal twist. Your right foot in front of your left foot. Right arm around your right knee. Left arm around your back. And then you hook your hands together. When you can, if your body allows, begin to move your right foot to the other side of your left knee. I personally need to go in stages. Each stage allows my back to loosen just a little bit so I can make it all the way to the other side of my left knee. When you don't have the flexibility, you might find yourself falling over. If that happens, it's no big deal. Have a good laugh, then go back into the pose. Now release. Do it to the other side. Left foot in front of the right foot. Left arm wraps behind your left knee. Your right hand goes behind your back and your hands locked together. Again, if you can't reach your hands, then get a rope, string, something to hold on to. Now, if you can, take your left foot, move it to the other side of your right knee, go a little bit deeper into the stretch, a little bit deeper into the pose. Focus on the stretch. If I can do it, you can do it too. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually you will be able to do it too. Now come out of the pose, lay back onto the floor, bring your knees into your chest. When you're doing this type of pose, it helps to take a good deep breath before you bring your knees in, because once your knees come in, it might be a little bit harder to breathe. I like to rock the hips back and forth a little bit to take the stress off the lower back. Move the hips in a circular motion, one way, then the other. The secret is you want to first hold the pose in silence, in stillness, before you start to move. Bring your head to your knees. Grab your toes if you want. Now, feet back down to the ground, but this time bring your right foot, your right knee to your chest. Left leg goes straight. Be aware of your feet. Point your toes. Now bring your right knee back up, straighten, bring your left knee back up, straighten your right leg. Grab your shin, your foot, grab whatever you can. Straighten your leg the best that you can. As you can see, my leg's not so straight, but I still have a stretch. And that's what matters. I wish I was flexible, but I'm not. I have to really work at it. Now bring your right foot back down, your left knee into your chest. Send your right leg straight. Point your toes. Now bring your right knee back up. Send your left leg straight if you can, or as straight as you can. This is a great stretch because there's no stress at all on the lower back, yet you still get a good stretch into the legs. Then lower your foot back down to the ground. Take a few moments to relax, to breathe. Then roll to your side, come up. Sit on your feet and then prepare for the crow pose. Not everybody can do this pose. If you can't do it, just go into relaxation pose now. But if you can, this is a great pose, a great balance pose. You have to sort of explore your body, the stretch, for this one to find the right position. But essentially you put your knees just above your elbows, and then you bend your elbows just a little bit while leaning forward. And then you balance on your elbows. And then you come out of it when you're ready. And for one last final pose, let's do the peacock pose. You take your elbows into your groin, your stomach, your hands pointing forward. Find that position, and then you lift your legs, and then you lift your body off the floor. Powerful pose, requires total concentration. Coming out of it, a little bit more difficult. Now find your way back to the mat, lay down. You did a good job. Time to relax. Remember, relaxation pose is the easiest of all the poses, but possibly one of the most difficult poses to do, because all you have to do is relax. Let everything go. When you throw away everything that is not needed, all that remains is peace, calm, stillness. Take a few minutes to relax. Relax every part of your body. Your eyes, your neck, your arms. Move your arms to a comfortable position and then relax.